Hello again. This is Prophetess Elise, your intake girl from the spirit world. Now, I'll be talking about one of my favorite subjects, which is portals, realms, and wormholes. And I'm going to use one example, the Appalachian Mountains. Of course, I've been scrolling across TikTok. And, I started watching, these different videos where they're trying to warn you what would happen if you go here. And why the people who live there begin to use the words of wisdom, which is, close the curtains when you go to bed. Also, they tell you, if you don't look too close to a tree, you might see something you may not want to see. Also, they'll tell you, you're going to be out there camping, make sure your fire burning night and day, all day and night. Another one they will tell you is like, if you hear something whistling, don't whistle back. Then they say if somebody's calling your name, don't go out there and find out. And don't talk to it. So, I started looking more into the Appalachian Mountains, as the Lord led me. And I saw the map of how big the Appalachian Mountains, starting all the way, I think, in Maine. And it gets all the way down close to Mississippi. And that's the Lord said, that's a portal. Because they always tell you about these missing folks. And don't hike at your own risk. And what happens here. And then, we watch another videos that is almost as older than the dinosaurs. And then some 480 million years. Find out that is a huge, gigantic portal. Now, remember, I say this portal in the Appalachian Mountains, the Appalachian Mountains starts in Maine. All the 13 colonies go all the way down close to Mississippi. I said, Lord, that's a portal. He said, yeah. And, and now you kind of understand why they be saying, oh, don't do this. Because there's a spirit, that they say when you don't close your curtains, there's a spirit. You can look it up. I'm going to just spit it out for you. Wendigo. It looks like a deer, but it's standing up. And it walks on two legs, and this particular spirit resides in the Appalachian Mountains. And of course, it's always connected to trees, it's connected to the forest, it's connected to the earth, and they have different portals. And, one particular instance, they talked about somebody closed the curtains. You close your curtains before that entity comes and checks you out, studies you, and gonna take you later. So, and that's what they told. They said it happened to a lady. She was trying to protect them and say, close the curtains. And one day they didn't close some curtains, and somebody ended up missing. So these are demonic beings. When they talk about something whistling, something out there. And the Lord said that particularly, especially at night, they come out like a flood to see who they can devour, destroy, who they can take into them portals. Because once they take you into the portal, you're not coming back. And you're not coming back alive ever. And so they look for you for sacrifices. They look for you to take, you where they want you to be forevermore, for eternity. And so Lord was telling me more about that. And he's telling me that these different portals, this is just one portal. There's another portal in, trying to remember, somewhere in Europe, where they actually literally build a castle on top of it. Somewhere in the Z countries, somewhere Poland, Hungary, one of those countries over there in that area in Europe. And they said they put a castle on top of it to cover a hole, which is a portal. And they said nobody lives there because the windows are bound shut, no doors. And the purpose of them doing that was to cover up the portal. And they said they used to hear sounds. They hear screaming, they hear hollering, they hear some growling, And, I think they have somewhere somebody decided they want to stay in there. And all they heard was sounds after sounds. So that's the portal. Now, portals are entryway where the spirits can go through. There's two types of portals. You got demonic portals. You got angelic portals. Where they have in the scripture where the angels ascend and descend, or demons ascend and descend. They come in and out of portals. Now, portals can be man-made. They do have man-made portals in the earth. They either done through technology, all the way to Egyptian time. Portals are open, through technology, things they have created to, go through different portals. They can be man-made as well. But the ones that occur in the earth was the spiritual ones. And then, of course, they got natural portals that was made by man. So they can go in our portals. And I only go because there's different things that can happen in portals. So if it's a portal, a heavenly portal, angelic portal, because of discernment. And I'm just going to break it down, discernment. There's ways you can discern whether they're portals of God. You'll have a discerning sense of peace, joy, And then I get ringing. Now, I don't know about some people. I get a nice little ring. It's sweet. It's a ring in my ear. I hear ringing when the portals are opening. A heavenly portal. Now, I've heard rings of the demonic portals. Or somebody's trying to watch. And portals can be opened through witchcraft. Portals can be opened through, rituals that's done, magicry, sorcery, wizardry. They can be open to monitor and see or to go in the portal. So those demonic portals, I might hear demonic portal opening up where they trying to watch and hear and see. And of course, it's not a nice portal. It's like blaring in my ear like a big old beam. And it get louder and louder till I rebuke it and close it. Because somebody trying to look and see what's going on, and then someone's trying to come in. Once they monitor, they're going to be trying to come in. That's why they have watchers and stuff like that. And anything that comes to attack you, that means they have came through the portal. That's why we deal with so much attacks. We deal with so many, sometime in our sleep. And this is when they're trying to cheat. Now, portals can be done also in your sleep in different realms. You can go through portals in your sleep. This is why when you get up, sometimes the enemy attacks us in our sleep, because that's when we're vulnerable. That's when we're not as alert. But that's when the Holy Ghost will sometimes wake you up and rebuke something. You can tell when something has entered in because you'll feel a sense of something's invading, something's abiding, and something's attacking. And something's hitting your head, something's hitting your body. And you'll know it because you'll discern it. And sometimes they come unauthorized. Sometimes they sneak up in the front and the back. I call it back doors, portals. They'll come in. Normally, you can, if you can discern it, you cast it, send them right back into the portals and dry places. Because their portals are dry. They ain't got no living water. They ain't got no Jesus or God. But when it's godly portals, that's when you feel, restoration. You feel the peace of God. And you can discern this even in atmospheres, whether you're in church or home. You can discern what kind of portals are open. And like I was telling you in my job, I came across that Bambi-looking demon spirit in the demonic realm, because the witches there, they earthly witches. They believe in trees. They believe in praying to trees, sacrificing to trees. So this is the tree principality that was over there. I remember seeing that, and I'm like, y'all dealing with ones. And they made a lot of movies about this particular spirit. A lot. It's real. Yeah, he's real. That new Bambi movie they got, that's the real Bambi. Bambi wasn't friendly. A lot of this stuff, especially Grimm's fairy tales, they were not friendly. And I'll talk more about that in another video about medieval fairy tales and stuff like that and what they really were talking about. But anyway, back to my subject on different realms. But, realms is dimensions. This is not portals. Realms is different dimensions that you might find yourself in. There's dimensional realms, there's demonic realms. Dimensional realms, demons can be in those realms, and so can angels and God and all that stuff can be in those type of realms. And you can go to realms in your sleep. Realms is, different places where you can travel in the spirit realm, and do different things. And God will take you. You don't take yourself, because that's another video I'm going to talk about. You don't make yourself go there. That's a whole different ball game. That's witchcraft. But you can go into different realms, especially when you pray and seek the Lord. He will take you, not yourself. Now, another one is wormholes. What are wormholes? Now, I came across wormholes while I'm at Dallas, Texas. Wormhole is almost like a fissure in the realms, a fissure in the portals. It's like a fissure. It's not truly a portal, but it's a fissure. Wormholes can be created by the environment, where whatever's going on in the environment, spiritually and naturally. It can be opened up by witchcraft. Wormholes can be opened up by people, what they're praying and what they have allowed to, inhabit that particular region and place. Wormholes can be man-made. Wormholes can be, demonically made. Wormholes can be created by people, and created by witches, created by demons, created by spirits. And it's like a fissure. It's like a tear. Because it opens and closes like portals. But it's like a tear. It's like something you go in. Like you saw in Star Trek. They go through this wormhole and they enter somewhere else. It's almost a way you can transport yourself. And that's a way that people will transport themselves. A lot of that stuff you saw in Star Trek and Stargate, it was a form of transportation, spiritually. Wormholes. Portals, you go in and out, as they open and close, but they don't stay open. They don't stay like that. That's why angels ascend and descend as needed to protect and guard. But wormholes, you can go through different stuff, go through different realms, go through another place to another place. You know, like people said, I was right here. Like this man said, I was over here. How did I make 175 miles back over here? He went through a portal, a wormhole. Wormholes, you know, you can get out of them, but if you're driving through one, it feels like something's like slowing down, like you're going through some type of realm and portal, and then you come out. So they're like little openings in the earth, spiritual openings, wormholes. And they can be good ones or bad ones, and they can be created. You know, because, you know, we have a spirit world and we have a natural world. So they're all like this. That's why it's children of God, people of God. You're in the world, but not of it. That includes spiritually. You're in the earth, but you're not of the earth because you have a connection with God and spiritual, in the spirit realm. And it's real. Angels are real. All of that's real. And we're constantly in connection with them. There's a spirit world in your house. There's portals, wormholes possibly in your house, in your home, wherever you at. And I remember it was a giant portal. It wasn't a wormhole in my school. It was a gigantic portal because they had prayed to the point where it stayed open. Portals can stay open. Portals will stay open. Wormholes don't stay open. They can go close, open, close. Based on whatever, and whoever trying to come in and out. So, but portals, once you have a big portal, yeah, the bigger the portal is, the more now, if it's a heavenly portal, you got portals of heaven, windows of heaven, portals poured out in Malachi. Windows of heaven, that's portals. There's many portals of God. You want him to rain down, heavenly hosts. But what you don't want is demonic portals pouring down. You know, so we have to be mindful of portals. And, you know, portals can be open even in concerts. Man, ain't gonna be talking about your girl. Yeah, portals. The singer. But, you know, portals can open at a concert. Portals can open in a movie. Portals can open. That's why it was a movie I asked my best friend. She said people been watching it because they were using actual witchcraft. That people actually got possessed and attacked. Portals can open in movies. Portals can open in music. That's why the ear gate, the eye gate, you know, even down below is a portal. So anything that has an opening where they can transfer spirits, transfer this, you know, those stay open. Those are open. And they can get larger and larger, whether you praying to the good people or God's folks, angels and stuff like that. You praying to the other ones, the demons. So this was my intel on portals, realms, and wormholes. So make sure you like, subscribe to this channel. I got some more intel for you as the Lord reveals to me what he wants me to share with you. And remember about my PIA Academy. Download that starter guide. Get on the email list. Join the community. You might want to get some weekly prophetic insights. You might want to get some, you know, some downloads once in a while. It's free 99. Now, all of it's going to be free 99. But some of it is. If you want some training, like, I want to know how to do this intel on my own. You know, walking the grace God called me. I want to learn how to, you know, prophetically, you know, get intel so I can pray war, rage war, pray, intercede, and prophetically you decree and declare the word of the Lord. So, I'm your girl. Check me out. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.